Recognizes Representative Holmes Norton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me just say it's not surprising that during the Trump administration, my Republican colleagues had no problem with President Trump's authorizing releases from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve in response to an attack on oil refineries in Saudi Arabia. This is pure public opportunism. Now, let me get to my question. I have a question here for Mr. Drummer. Last year, we tapped the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to prevent a global economic crisis and temper the spike in the price of oil caused by Putin's invasion of Ukraine. I think that's been established. But the Biden administration's swift action revealed a key lesson about how to achieve energy independence. It's just not the lesson my Republican colleagues think. After years of expanding production, the U.S. is the world's largest oil and natural gas producer, but we are still not energy secure. More oil and gas production has not led to energy security. American consumers fell victim to the global price shocks that came from the Ukraine war. Mr. Drummer, I want to drill down, forgive the pun, on a point you made and ask, can we drill ourselves out of global price shocks like my Republican colleagues are suggesting?
Thank you for the question, Representative. Again, I want to remind the committee, let's recall 2020 when people were driving less, right? We were shut down for the pandemic, quarantining and whatnot. And the price of global oil went to the basement. And around then, you needed about $60 a barrel for it to be profitable to drill in the U.S. It was down to like $15, $16 a barrel, which means there were fossil fuel workers who were put out of work. Not because some law or regulation, but because at this point, a king in Saudi Arabia and an autocrat in Russia could not agree on the production reductions. And so there was a disagreement within OPEC, and that drove fossil fuel workers in the U.S. Out of jobs. The reality is that this market is bigger than the U.S. We can be a player. We are a player. It doesn't matter. Folks are still paying 15 to 25% of their income to commute to and from work. So we cannot drill our way out. The best way forward is to turn to renewables and make the massive public investments we need to achieve true, genuine energy security, which is not vulnerable and prone to any foreign interference. That's what is being argued here.
Exactly. The prices are determined by global demand. We can never drill enough to insulate ourselves from Russian invasions or Saudi production cuts. Mr. Drummer, why do renewable energy sources provide more price security for American consumers?
It is the same argument for onshoring supply chains. The same can be said for onshoring energy. And when backed with batteries, we know with solar, the highest costs with solar are once it's built and you're paying down, your investors and creditors. It doesn't take much to maintain. It's very inexpensive to provide solar energy. And so with battery storage, with wind, we're really positioned to drive down the cost. And not just, and I didn't put this in my report, but we add renewables, we add energy efficiency, insulating homes, and all the jobs like we created from that work as well. So there is a path forward with renewables because they are not vulnerable to the same geopolitical shocks that we're experiencing today.
Okay, as we can see from the chart behind me, if I can have that chart up, Of the 10 congressional districts in the country with the most clean energy projects being developed right now, 9 are Republican districts, including Speaker McCarthy's, Ms. Bobart's, and Mr. Sessions' districts. Because investing in clean energy is a matter of good business and common sense, just ask your own constituents. I yield back.